guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. I just want to talk about this this funkydineva, teagiffoxsoul / Claudia Jordan's now / Flame Monroe / Tasha K. I don't think the situation is over. I still don't know all of the details, and I don't know if we ever really will. But I wanted to just talk about this briefly because it seems that I'm just thinking from a business perspective, foxsoul really didn't do their due diligence when it came to protecting this show that they hired funkydineva, government named Quentin Latham, to be a part of. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about Michelle ATLien Brown too. So I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible about each individual that I'm discussing, because I'm honestly just team success for everybody in their own right. I don't want the TGIF show to be obliterated because funkydineva is no longer there. I don't think that's fair. I also don't want funkydineva to have to suffer and not be successful in his own right on his platform. I've been subscribed to his channel for a long time, and I am not here to say that I agree with everything that he says. I am subscribed to a lot of people's channels. That doesn't mean that I agree with every single thing that everyone says. For me, the way I view YouTube, I view it like when I used to have DirecTV back in the day. I had a lot of channels when I used to have DirecTV. We had like probably one of the largest packages, except not having the NFL Sunday ticket, right? So many different channels, so much variety. I may watch some of the channels more than I watch others. Some of the channels, they may have shows that air on it that I don't care to watch or whatever, but it's all entertainment. So I have my favorites saved and, whatever. It's entertainment. I didn't see I don't know, just trying to give an example. I didn't see TBS beefing with the Family Channel or, I'm just saying, I don't feel like I should be devoted to one person's channel over another. Not to say that I may not have favorites. And there definitely may be some channels. There's millions of YouTube channels, okay? So I'm definitely not watching everyone's content and subscribe to everyone. But I'm subscribed to a lot of different people's channels. It doesn't mean that I agree with everything that everyone says. And so, with that being said, I don't want any of their platforms to go down. I definitely believe that foxsoul benefited from having funkydineva as a part of the cast on TGIF. Some may feel like Claudia Jordan had preyed on, I don't want to use that word. Some may feel like Claudia Jordan, she knew that funkydineva had a very large following on YouTube, so felt like it was beneficial to have him as a part of the cast. Multiple things could be true at the same time. I don't believe that she just used him because of the following that he already had to be on the show. Because the truth of the matter is, whether you like Claudia Jordan or not, whether you like funkydineva or not, and even Al Reynolds, whether you like him or not, the three of them together, it worked. It worked when it worked. But honestly, everything in life is temporary. Even if something lasts for 50 years, 50 years is not eternity. So everything is temporary. Not everything is going to last forever. We have to be able to adapt and adjust to change. But I do believe that there's a way that some things could be done. And I will say that for me, it feels like foxsoul dropped the ball from the business perspective, because having funkydineva / Quentin Latham as an employee, or I'll say an independent contractor, because he didn't get a W-2 for him. When you have a contract, you're an independent contractor / you're employed by the company, but you're not a W-2 employee. So there are some different rules when it comes to that. I'm speaking in this way because I am an employer, a small business owner as well. So to have funkydineva, who, has his own YouTube channel and should be able to do what he wants to do on his own platform, because what he was doing on his own channel and platform is similar to what he was doing on teagiffoxsoul, to me, listen, he can do, it looks like maybe, I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to say that I know, because it is possible that there may have been some stipulations in his contract that he just is not adhering to, and it could cause some legal issues down the road if they choose to pursue it. Just because he's doing it right now doesn't mean that he's not going against a contract or a non-compete agreement. And that's what I'm trying to get to, because the fact that he says that he decided not to continue because the money just wasn't right, and for what they wanted to offer him for the amount of days he was working on their platform, he could do it for himself on his own, which could be true. But to get pissed off at either Foxsoul as a whole, or I don't know, an individual person. Again, nothing has been confirmed. Some people feel like he was talking about Claudia Jordan. Some people feel like no, but we don't know. So all we can do is assume. And you know what they say about assuming. But anyway, to go live on his own channel at the same time that Foxsoul's TGIF is going live, when, let's be honest, funkydineva rarely went live. I can even recall him saying he did not like to do live videos. So I'm just saying, it definitely was to spite, I believe, to either spite an individual person, multiple people, or the whole show and platform overall, to say, hey, you need me more than I need you, because look at the numbers that I'm pulling in. And that could be true. But in the beginning, Foxsoul's TGIF, it was doing okay. I'm not saying it wasn't doing anything, but the viewership definitely grew over time. So he was a contributing factor, but he was not the only factor. So I don't think that TGIF's Foxsoul did their due diligence as a business, unless it comes out later and it's revealed that, no, we did have that stipulation in his contract, but he just chose to overstep those boundaries. Because I know that I have employees sign non-compete and non-disclosure agreements, and it's not for nefarious reasons. It's just to protect my business, to prevent people from coming in, stealing what I have, taking it to another business, or what's worse, just trying to pretty much copy everything that I'm doing in my own business and create their own. So you can have people sign these agreements. It doesn't mean that they're not going to break them, because I've had people try it before as well. And, when I've had people do it, for me, it wasn't as big of a deal, because a lot of these people, they don't have money like that. So it's like, I'm not going to even waste my time in court with you, because it's just going to be a waste of money for me. I'll get a paper judgment that I probably won't be able to collect on. And people would say, well, you should have them sign these agreements. I'm like, I do. But signing paperwork doesn't make people ethical and integral, because it's a federal offense to rob a bank, but people still do it. So people are going to do what they want to do. Just having someone sign a form or a contract or paperwork doesn't mean that they're not going to go against it. But I'm just saying that if they did not have that in their contract, for him to not be able to go on his own platform to go live, they can't stop him from using his own platform. But these are the times when we are going live and you're going to go directly at the same time we are going live. You don't have that in their contract. It sounds like they didn't do their due diligence when it comes to that. So I wanted to mention that. And two, I again reiterate, I don't want any of the platforms to go down. I don't believe that funkydineva should have to go down. And I don't believe that TGIF's Foxsoul should have to go down either. And as much as I may like funkydineva's commentary from time to time, I don't dislike him. I definitely don't hate him. But I will say that, yeah, there have been times where he has said things that I did not like, I did not agree with. And one thing that he says a lot that I think he may not be thinking about at this point in time or throughout this saga as he goes through it, he says a lot, you can't do wrong to a B word, or you can't do wrong to someone and tell them how mad to get. Now, I'm not saying that him leaving TGIF was him doing them wrong per se, but in a way, it could be seen like, well, you left us hanging a little bit, meaning Claudia and Al, they're still there. Why should we have to suffer because you chose not to be here anymore? And then if a guest co-host is brought on the show that you don't really care for, then you're going to sling us with the vitriol because you're angry about it when we're not doing it to slight you. I don't believe, but I'm just saying we're not doing it to slight you. We're just doing it to try to, make the change and move forward and do the show that we are still a part of and we're still hired to do, And so when he says statements like that, I don't know if he's really considering that right now. Just my personal opinion. I don't know. Some may say, well, he didn't do them wrong. But sometimes it's not the so-called doing someone wrong in like a horrible negative way, but it's just, okay, you're gone. You're still doing well. And here we're still left to pick up the pieces and try to move forward. We got people coming at us in the comment section saying, bring Funky back. And this show ain't going to be nothing without him or whatever. It's like, well, what do you want this person to do? And yeah, some people may feel like, well, they're going to bring on Flame Monroe, someone that he has made very clear statements about. As long as I am here, that person will not be here. So you obviously know this is not someone that he cares for. So it looks like you're being petty by bringing this person on. It could look that way, but sometimes what you see is not really what it is. And when it comes to Flame Monroe and funkydineva and, whatever the feelings are that they have between each other. And I've heard some things that he said, and I've heard some things that Flame Monroe has said in response to what he has said. But he did say, as long as I am here, that person will not be here. Well, it's not really fair if you're no longer there to feel like, well, I know I ain't there anymore, but you still better not bring that person on board, or I see you and I see what you really, I see what you're really about. I don't know. I'm not involved in the situation, so I can't tell people how to feel about, the situations that they are involved in. And with that being said, I just wanted to touch on Michelle ATLien Brown, because for those of you who know, Michelle and Funky, they were friends for years. He was inspired by her to do blogging. She was inspired by him to do the YouTube videos, and they've been through a lot. They even both were sued by Sheree Whitfield years ago. Like I said, I've been following for years. Now, Michelle, she's known for doing a lot of commentary about Claudia and funkydineva. She calls him Junkie Dineva. She calls Claudia colorist. She does a lot of commentary about them. But obviously, the woman feels how she feels. I may feel like she should move on and get over it and stop talking about them, whatever. But ultimately, at the end of the day, because I thought about it for a while, I may not care for it myself, but she was the one that dealt with personal situations with funkydineva, as well as what she feels like are personal jabs against her or about her by Claudia as well as Funky, right? So I can't tell her she should just get over it and move on and stop talking about them or whatever. If that's obviously something that she's feeling. That's how she feels. Again, I may not agree with it. I may not like it. And I can understand being on the other side of it. If I were Funky Dineva or Claudia and this person was always talking about me, I could understand how they would feel like, just get over it, move on. If you don't like me, stop talking about me. But honestly, if she is a vlogger and she feels these feelings about them and she just wants to keep talking about them and it's getting her views and she's making money off of it, who am I to tell her to stop? I may not like it. Again, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can say that I kind of understand, as well as going back to what Funky Dineva said, you can't do wrong to a bee and then tell them how mad to get. I mean, honestly, this is what he says a lot. And again, I understand, because I'm one of those people that I don't want to hold on to something forever. I want to move on with my life. And for me, I'm not going to keep talking about somebody that did something to me years later, because for me, I feel like it keeps me in that place of going through that stuff over and over again. But I'm not everyone. Everyone isn't me. Everyone doesn't think the same. And like Funky said, you can't tell a bee how mad to get when you've done them wrong. So if she feels like Funky Dineva did her wrong with the house situation that she rented to him and whatever, I mean, I'm sure she got her money by now, okay? I mean, I'm sure she got her money by now, because I heard he made, just from his YouTube revenue, like about $45,000 a month. That's just that alone, right? So I'm quite sure she was paid and he doesn't still owe her money. But she says, he calls her, what is it, Gary Coleman, and talks about, I don't know, even if it was said a couple of times, and this stuff is all over YouTube, and he ethered her many years ago. I mean, I remember it. That video went so viral with him wearing what did he have on his wig when he did it? I think he did. I'm trying to remember because it was so many years ago. But I'm just saying that to say I am not on anyone's side with it. I understand all sides of it is pretty much what I'm saying, because for me, it's entertainment. I'm not personally involved in any of these people's situations. And then just finally, just to touch on Tasha K when it comes to this situation, because Tasha K and Funky Dineva, they, I guess, called themselves friends. I'm thinking maybe they were friendly. I don't know if they still are. I don't know. But he did say that Tasha K called him and wanted to have like a ponderosa between her, Flame, and Funky. And it didn't work out. And Funky hung up the phone on both of them. Well, listen. I feel, in my personal opinion, just my personal opinion, because I'm subscribed to Tasha K too, and I like her. Again, I'm not here to say that I agree with everything that she says, and I'm, 100% always thinking that she's right about every opinion that she shares, or watching all of the interviews, because there's some people that she's interviewed that I don't care for, and I'm like, I'm not watching that interview. Like Darius Cooks, I don't like him, so I'm like, nah, I'm not watching that interview. But I'm just saying, I don't think that she had negative, bad intentions, but there are some people that feel like Tasha K feels some type of way because Funky Dineva had mentioned when he was on TGIF that Tasha K was going to do everything to hide the money that she had from Cardi B. Now, if that was even true, if that's a personal conversation that the two of them had, I don't think that's something that should have been aired on the show. But I don't think that Tasha K had ill intentions when she was trying to connect Flame and Funky on a phone call to just discuss things, hash it out, not saying they would be best buddies, but just to have a conversation, and then you can both go your separate ways. Because if Funky Dineva chose to leave TGIF and you made the statement talking about why you left, I feel like it should have ended at that. But I mean, obviously this has garnered him more views, probably gotten him more subscribers and whatever. But not sure if he ever wants to have another opportunity like he did before with TGIF on Foxsoul, because I believe he also does a radio show now as well. Those entities like that, whereas all of these years right now, he's been used to doing his own thing independently, being a Google AdSense partner, having this YouTube channel that has grown over all of these years, which is a great thing for him. That's an amazing thing. But you have to be careful about how you move and what you speak and say when you're dealing with people that have these higher up positions on these platforms like a Foxsoul, like a VH1 or whatever, like he's, had the opportunities to work with before, or even many years ago when he was on the show Sister Circle. I believe he got fired from that. I don't remember the reasons exactly why he was fired from Sister Circle, but I do believe that was a blow to his ego a bit. And I also believe that even with this situation, whether he actually did choose to leave or listen, when it comes to contracts, sometimes that is their way of firing you. Even if you say, well, I chose to leave, or I chose not to accept the least that they were offering me when I tried to counter with them giving me more and they said no. Sometimes that is their way of firing you. It's like, yeah, you say you chose to leave, but we didn't offer you what you wanted because we really didn't want to deal with you anymore. And there have been times where there were things that were said on the show, and there were times even when I cringed a bit when he said some things, right? And even though some of the things might have been funny, like when he would say things about Lizzo, I mean, the way it was said sometimes was just like, oh God. But yeah, he may not have been actually fired per se, but listen, when I think that final straw with them may have been the Chloe Bailey situation, honestly. And let's just be real. Chloe Bailey is connected to Beyonce, and that is that. I'm not saying that it should be fair for people to get positions taken from them or get blackballed or whatever because somebody shared their views and opinions, whether, you agreed with it or not, because it wasn't favorable that you would get someone's position taken or getting them blackballed or whatever. So when he came out and made that apology, you could tell that was not something that he wanted to do. Because even on his own YouTube channel before, he's come out and he's made an apology, and I believe it was regarding Blue Ivy. Nobody made him do that. And that was his own YouTube channel. He didn't have a higher up that he was working for, shall we say, that said, all right, if you want to stay here, you're going to have to come out and apologize and make this statement. He did that on his own recognizance, on his own YouTube channel. And when it comes to Foxsoul, I'm quite sure this was something that he was made to do, that he really did not want to do because he meant what he said, whether people liked it or not. I didn't care for it. I cringed. I didn't like it. And I actually stopped watching the TGIF show for several weeks after that happened because I just was like, I'm not here for that. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, guys, because I was just thinking about it and just the ring around the rosy of this saga, which I believe will continue. There may be more to come. I, again, don't know if they did have a clause in their contract for him to be prohibited from going live or, doing anything on his platform at the same time that the show is airing, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, on YouTube and on the Foxsoul app or whatever, because it could potentially take away eyes from their platform. Of course, there are people that said, you know what, Funky ain't there, I ain't watching no more. There're just going to be some people that are like that, and that's just what it is. People have the right to choose whatever they want to do. But it may be possible that they did have something like that in their contract, and he just said, "I'm yours, I'm doing it anyway." We don't know. We shall see. I'm not saying that I want anything like that to happen to him legally, potentially, if there was a clause in his contract that he may not have remembered, or he just decided that, yeah, I know about it, but I don't care. This is my channel and you can't stop me from doing what I want to do on my own channel. We'll see. I don't know. But I say that if there was not something like that in their contract, then Foxsoul definitely dropped the ball as a business. And so I'm sure that that will be a lesson that they will just have to eat and learn. But I just wanted to talk about this situation overall because I just really find it interesting. I don't really talk a whole lot about other content creators per se, but I feel like with the size of their platforms at this point, they've become more than just your average content creator like myself. You know, these people have pretty much become content in a lot of ways. Tasha K, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Funkydineva, you know, almost 500,000 subscribers. Tasha K, over 1 million some odd subscribers. Like, you know, TGIF, they've got almost, over 400,000 subscribers. It's a big deal. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and views on it overall. There's probably more that I could say, honestly. Like I said, I really do want the best for all of the people and all of the entities that I've spoken about involved, because I'm not here to hate on anybody. I'm just here to share my thoughts and views on the situations. And also, even though I believe that Funkydineva is successful, that doesn't mean that you can't learn something from every situation. We should learn something from everything that we go through. And I do believe that there are times that Funkydineva is a bit, egotistical. And that can be a huge turnoff. You know, there are times when he, talk about how much money he's making and talking about haters and stuff like that. And it's like, is that really necessary? Not saying that you don't want someone to do well, or you may not. Some people may even get inspired by hearing about how much somebody's able to go on yacht trips and they're about to buy this new car and I'm about to buy this new, and it's like, you're not doing a vlog right now. You're supposed to be on here talking about the entertainment news and hot topics and what's trending, not about that type of, it can just be a bit of a turnoff sometimes. And I feel that situations pop up in life sometimes when the head gets a bit big, just to let the air out a little bit, just to bring some humility, hopefully, into your life. Not everyone gets the memo. Not everyone gets the message or the lesson. But I will say that is one of the things that I say. It's like, all right, guy, we know that this person is your personal friend. You know Quad, you know Tamar. You okay, you're going to call them later and whatever. Okay, you know some of the celebrities, cool. But the bragging, it comes across as obnoxious. And so, I don't know. I just feel like maybe that may be something that, one of the things I should say, that he could take something from this situation and hopefully learn from it, pivot and do some things a little bit differently. But I mean, some people feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The people still love me. They still love it when I call them y'all hoes and y'all bank back wenches and whatever. I mean, listen, if you like that type of talk and people talking to you like that, I guess fine. I don't receive those words because, like I told you guys, I don't even like anybody calling me the B word, because bees are female dogs. We have 3 of them in the kennel. So no, I will not be having anyone calling me a bee. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.